there seems to be a standard here at Florida to have an ability to be able to make an impact as soon as you step on campus. Going back to you had a good outing against Columbia. Next outing at Stetson, wheels kind of fell off a little bit, and things kind of fell apart. But you've seen it come back with it. There seems to be a standard. Do you feel any type of pressure through that standard, or what was that may have been leading to that to kind of fall off? You started good, came back. Maybe give me what did that feel like?
I mean, there's definitely a standard here, no doubt. I mean, I feel like that's what makes Florida so special is even if you're a younger kid, you're expected to perform at a high level no matter what. I'd say really just I don't really feel the pressure. I've always growing up with summer coaches and high school coaches. They always held me to a higher standard just because my talent and what my capabilities were. So I've always had that sense of expectations for myself and from my peers around me. So that's always been sort of something that I've always dealt with. So there's not really been pressure from the outside world, I'd say. But I mean, I'd say with my early struggles, I'd say the biggest thing was I was just making it a bigger moment than it was, especially like the Stetson game. I was like, oh, it's my first collegiate start.
Right.
And I didn't really go into the game myself. I didn't try to do too much. I just thought of it too much.
So would you say it was more of like a mental adjustment, more the mechanics? I mean, coming in, you said you kind of work off your slider, but would you say it's more mental approach or mechanics that you had to change that really saw that script type of be flipped this year for you?
It was definitely mental. I mean, like I haven't changed really anything mechanically wise. The only thing I've done pitching wise that I've changed is I've tried to attack hitters more. We've talked about that as a pitching staff a lot. Cop, our pitching coach, has harped on it for the last 3 weeks, just going over every game, what our first pitch strike percentage is, what our first 2 out of 3 strike percentage is. So that's really the big thing I've changed pitching wise is I've been really focusing on attacking hitters. But mechanically, there hasn't been many adjustments made. It's been more mental side of pitching.
Yeah, and with that too, it started out rough, obviously. We'll move into how good you've been lately, but it started out rough a little bit. There are a bunch of comments that started to come up, some negative thoughts you made from the outside of baseball and outside of you. How did you keep yourself focused, and how did you kind of block out that outer noise, to kind of lock in and just, trust the process of being able to get better and just progress?
I mean, there's definitely, it's hard not to see the stuff that's being said about you. I mean, I would go on Twitter just to look at just baseball stuff one night, and I'd see something pop up about me or something with the team. And I don't really pay too much attention to it. I grew up with 2 older brothers, so I've heard stuff about me my entire life. So it's not the hardest thing in the world I've heard. So, the main thing was just to keep focusing on myself and what was needed for the team and what I could do to help myself perform better.
No, I don't blame you. I have 2 older brothers too, and it makes it feel like you can do anything when you have 2 older brothers that beat the shit out of you all day. So, I can relate to that. So with that too, I was just looking back at some press conferences. You said so you had never really started on the mound, or no, you always started on the mound. You never worked out of the pen until you got here. Would you say maybe was that a reason that you maybe struggled early on? You had to come out of the pen, in, out. You started, had to go back to the pen. How do you feel comfortable and how you're thriving out of it now, even though you've never done it before? Why is that?
Honestly, I don't like making excuses, but it was definitely an adjustment for myself versus having an hour to get ready compared to sometimes 5 minutes to get ready. And then switching back and forth was definitely an adjustment too. I'm not making an excuse, but it was definitely a different challenge that I had to put myself through. But I think getting comfortable with coming out of the pen, which I've talked about with Kopp and Sully this year, that I'll be in the pen for the whole year, no doubt, for the rest of the year at least. So I've gotten used to it and I've gotten comfortable with it, which it's nice. It's nice knowing that I don't have to switch back and forth through them now. And I think that's kind of helped me get a little more comfortable with my role now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree because I'm good friends with Brandon too, and just asking him about it, he said he said you get a damn near day to prepare compared to 8 pitches, and you got to get hot quick. So I mean, it's probably better that you're able to settle into a routine, I guess you could say, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not much of a routine, but at least I have an idea of what I'm gonna be doing every day.
Right. Yeah, and so with that, another question. Brandon, he said he's talked to you a little bit too, especially after UCF. Is there someone, maybe it's him, maybe it's somebody else that you've kind of leaned into to kind of get some guidance on the mound and switching your situation and roles here?
I mean, I talked to Brandon a good amount one day during VP. He helped me. He helped me a lot. Just that was back when I wasn't really feeling myself.
Right.
And he just told me the main thing, just to go out there and do what I do and not think about what's going on in the game. It's a bigger moment. It's not, because at the end of the day, it's always the same game that I've played since I was a kid. So that was really the main thing that I got from him. And then also, I've grown pretty close with Ty Evans over the almost year I've known him, since the summer. And he's all, I mean, he doesn't really talk to me about the pitching side of it, but he helped me through some stuff. And he actually he got on my ass one time during the St. Mary's game. That'll probably be a moment I remember my entire life. But that kind of, I mean, it was definitely deserving, no doubt. But it definitely shook me back into reality, and helped me realize what really needs to be done, what I need to do for the team.
Yeah, you don't have to go into it too much, but what was that like for him to get on you as like a little check? What was that like for you?
I mean, honestly, it caught me really off guard, because it was just after my first inning. I gave up a home run when I came in, and he came in and he got in my ass a little bit. I can't lie, but it I mean, it kind of set me into reality. It wasn't, because I was struggling, and I was thinking about myself versus what impact I was having on the team, and it really set me back into what I can do for the team versus myself, try and get out of the funk.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we can see the difference it makes, and you know, I'm happy to see you be able to flip that switch and so early on. Um, Maybe just not even the whole team, but the freshman group you have in that bullpen is so young, obviously. What's like the mantra? What is that like? What are the vibes right now going into the rest of this year? As some of these guys like Frank and others are beginning to catch some ground like you. You were the first one that was able to do that, but what's that mantra for you guys to kind of push through with this sprint the rest of the season?
It's really just keep doing what we're doing, and I mean, obviously the goal is to have success, but I mean, it's really just the process that we're going through. We're trying to grow every day. And I know, I mean, I've been talking to Frank a little bit just on the side, like nothing crazy, but he's growing a little bit. He's starting to figure it out, which is nice. And I mean, you can see it with his performances. He's throwing a lot better, which is good for us as a team.